Hi, guys. It's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. It's Sunday. We made it to Sunday. We're almost at the weekend. So I had this clip for a while, and it's like 19 seconds long. And I don't know why I keep forgetting to play it, but it's hilarious. This guy, my man, is getting out of jail. He's been in jail for a while, and he's getting released today. And his family thought it would be very, very funny to have the police waiting for him at the jail outside to pretend to arrest him again. There's no sound because I think it had music in that would get me demonetized again. So he's finally released. He's like, no, you gotta be kidding me. No. It's not even funny, though. That's not even funny. I would never do that. That's just so you know. If you guys were in jail, you're getting released, and I'm meeting you at the door, I am never doing that to you. That's just not... Oh my God, that's not okay. That's so mean. All right, let's put some comments on the screen. Let's go to Judge Juanita next. I was going to wait for a while, but I want to play her now. So remember, her audio is, Michael, I believe that. Her audio is not the best, but everybody else in the courtroom you can hear. But you'll be able to hear her. She fixed it a little bit. She is fixing it much more. She's working on it. Don't worry. But we're gonna do some Juanita. Everybody's white. When I put the comments on the screen, everybody's white. Hold on. Let's see something quick. I'm white too. Look. Anyway, let's get to Juanita.
Those are DEL-ROS.
Mr. Gilbert, what are you doing today?
Come on, Gilbert.
We gotta stop eating like this, Mr. Gilbert.
They don't eat now.
Well, you look nice today, Mr.
Man,
Gilbert.
I'm not worried about you. I need my money for private gambling. Man, look, y'all said my daddy did a whole bunch of stuff. So when I was born, y'all put the
Wait. Why you say y'all? I don't know your dad.
Man, when I sent the mail off, they jacked the mail. See what I'm saying? So I knew I had to be smart to help my family out. When my daddy record got cleared, everything that they knew, see what I'm saying? The girls started following him. See, my daddy was Al Green.
Your daddy was.
Okay. Now that you heard a tiny bit of what's going on, I'll fill you in a little bit. This guy has no case in front of her. He has no criminal case at all. He just every couple of days shows up in her courtroom asking for money.
Al Green.
Al Green, which one? The singer Al Green?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I didn't know if it was the state rep Al Green or the singer Al Green.
No, man. I'm not trying. I don't play. I'm a grown man.
You are.
And I'm not finna go home knowing they already know what they finna do.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I need my money, man. And you keep telling me things, but it's just right. If I go talk to the lawyer and that lawyer got inside there, and I say, man, can you get some money out my account? Oh, sure, Mr. Gilbert. Man, I got to go all about my life. That's all I'm saying, man. You're not.
So what are you asking me today, Mr. Gilbert?
Man, if I found out all that information for my dad, and his record got clipped, and my record got clipped, they start following us. So when the women came to us and they asked us, Man, you know, you already got kids. Whoa, I got kids, that be cool. Okay, I ain't tripping on it. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you telling me about this something before.
Man, you ain't even let me.
So what are you asking of me, Mr. Gilbert?
Man, all I need is a check that said I can have some money. That's it. I need a check.
How am I gonna give you a check that you're gonna have some money?
Man, when I go home, that check was coming in the mail every day.
Well,
When
where
they
is it
sent
gonna
the
be
check,
mailed to?
man, you ain't even give me a chance to talk.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It is my courtroom though, you know.
And I got lawyer, I got a degree in law.
You got, oh, that's the first time you told me that.
Man, I told you
That
that already.
would have changed. If you
Now,
told me you got a
I'm
law
not-
degree, all of this would have changed.
Man,
Where
I
did you go to
just,
law school, Mr. Gilbert?
man,
How old are you, Mr. Gilbert?
I'm too old. That's all you need to know.
I might be
I'm, not, I'm old enough not to play no games. Just let me, I'm just let you. Man, you ain't even give me a chance to talk, Joe.
Okay, I'm gonna get, look.
If it was some witnesses over there, she wouldn't cut them people off. If it was some witnesses over there, she wouldn't cut these people off.
You know what? They have cases in this court. You don't.
Man, I'm trying to hear it and get out your way.
Okay, tell me what you want me to hear.
Man, I ain't got no money to go get me an ID so I can get money out of my account. Okay, when I came in here from the county, the lady said, she said, oh, well, we got women that want to talk to you. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I said, man, I ain't got time for you. She said, yeah, I ain't got time for you. She said, why? Because it's going to be something funny that's going to happen. So she said, well, you got plenty of money in the account. You rich and you got bills. All this in America. All this is mine. But the thing is, I'm asking for a check with money on it so I can go cash it at the bank. Why would I want to wait till the next day? Knowing I already know what this dude gonna tell me. If I go home right now today, I get that everybody gonna be looking at me crazy like this. Like they don't know what's going on. They just looking at me. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
So you telling me something about you telling me something about my age and my kids. No. Man, when I was raised, we was already raised Jehovah's Witness.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So my auntie always told me, just love yourself and keep moving. God always gonna have something.
Exactly. So if you're a veteran and you committed a crime, you go to Veterans Court. And they have Shelley does it in Reno too. And they just offer more resources. It's less about punishment and more about getting the vet everything they need to get back, into their housing and a job and whatever, mental care, whatever they need. You That's the only way you can do this, guy.
Story for you. So when I knew if God had something stored for me, I would have made it to where I'm at now.
Good. Mr. Gill, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What are you asking of me today? Because every time you
And all I'm asking for,
and what you're asking is different, and I don't know if I can help you. And I appreciate that lately you've come in and you sit quietly. Thank you so much for that.
That's not what I'm saying. Man, when they switch my brain into another body, when they switch my brain into another body, and I asked the woman, she said, well, since you the age, I was like, what, 2 years old. She said, since you the, I said, man, well, what's wrong? She said, you ain't got no money. You ain't old enough to take care of a child. You don't know the rules and goals and stuff like that. So I said, man, you show.
Whoa, wait a second. There are rules to taking care of a child? I did not know this. Nobody gave me a rule book. Where is this rule book? Oh, wait, they did. Oh, God. Now I can't remember what it's called. Oh, no. It was like so popular. Oh, no. What to expect when you're expecting. I don't think that's what I'm thinking about. It's the next book. It's not from the same doctor either. Come on, guys, help me. When we all had Dr. Spock, I love you. Yep, that's what it was. That was our user manual. Everybody read it.
All right. So when I started to get older and older and older, and I learned how to live, I learned how to be myself. It's not even gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt. It's not gonna hurt because if I want to run away from a woman that had kids with another dude, you feel me? If I want to run away, I would have never picked that job up.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Mr. Gilbert, this is my third time out.
But I understand I ain't got no money, man. Man, I don't have no money. My money come in tomorrow, $25. What am I gonna do with $25?
I don't know.
Man,
What do you want to do with $25?
I can't do nothing with 25. Well, if I use that 25 over the weekend, I'm gonna be looking crazy I might break down no shit. Then I might break the law. Who fault that's gonna be mine, right? So if I hit this chick,
mine, I guess. No? I don't know.
If I had this chick,
Mr. Gilbert,
I'm telling you the truth.
We're at a standstill. I said, I appreciate that you have come in today, just like you came the other day. You've been very calm.
I'm gonna call myself.
I don't know what you want from me.
Man, I'm gonna call myself homeless. And the main dude already told me. He said, "Man, when we gamble and we coming up," he said, "No matter where you is in America, I'm the one that made it up." He said, "You tell me the answer. The answer is cheap." That's what he told me. He said,
cheap.
He said, "Yeah." He said, "The answer is cheap."
Okay.
The biggest man, the biggest one. Then he said, "When you come in the courtroom."
Let me ask this, Mr. Gilbert. What made you start wanting to come to my court every few days and talk?
Now, because I need money to go get me an ID. I'm trying to leave.
Do you think, have I ever given you money?
Listen. If I
have ever given you money?
If a check coming in every week, and I got checks at the mailbox, and I got checks in my bank, that person ain't giving me no money.
Right, and I'm not giving you any money. So why do you keep coming back asking me for money?
But then I got stuff to do. Okay. You feel me? I got stuff to do.
Judge, can I have some money, please?
He might fly over here. You know what I'm saying? Get stuck in jail.
Is that my responsibility to give you money to take care of that?
Man, I wouldn't even be here. He already know what type of person I'm at. He already gave me his trust. She gave me his trust. Because the thing was, he said it did. He said, no, listen, he said, man, stepdaddy, I ain't even have to search for you.
What's your stepson's name?
By the time we started getting married, I couldn't remember his name. I ain't gonna lie, I can't remember his name.
Remember his name. What's his mama's name? She's your wife, right?
I don't know, man.
Okay. So, Mr. Gilbert, I have a little bit of a problem that I need your help with. I need your help this time.
Yeah.
But this is what I need you to do.
Yeah.
For me. I need you to tell me what I can do to keep you from coming here all the time.
Because
what agreement can we make? Because at this point, I've given you information on how to get your driver's license. I've given you resources for homeless shelters. I've given you, I don't know what.
Why would I want to do it in I own everything? Why would I want to do it in I own everything?
Right.
Which
and I kind of like the fact that for some reason you have really taken.
You ain't even gave me a chance. You ain't gave me no chance.
I'm the only one that's even giving you an opportunity to talk because you come now.
You kept cutting me off.
Now he comes about about every 4 or 5 days now.
You kept cutting me off every single time. You cut me off every single time, man.
So then maybe you won't like coming to talk to me anymore if I cut you off.
Man, I'm still gonna come back. I ain't even get a chance. I ain't even got a chance. It was a school project. But when I was Yeah, I ain't even got a chance. I ain't get not even one chance to say, man, let me do an investigation and study.
Mr. Restrepo.
You know, the study.
Mr.
See,
Restrepo, he accused you last time, Mr. Restrepo. Look, you ignoring me, because you know I'm trying to get him to start talking to you. Last time he accused you of something.
And he said, I stole his jacket.
Something.
oh, I don't know what he talking about.
I remember I was standing right there and it was like, that dude stole my jacket that you was wearing.
Yeah, yeah, stole my jacket earlier on
Okay, Mr.
the
Gilbert, you always are very nice and patient.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is.
I got work I gotta do. These nice people have been waiting all day, and I got an interpreter here, so you know I gotta take this.
I understand, but I just need some money to go get my
And
ID.
Mr. Restrepo, listen, I'm sorry.
I ain't got no money for bro.
No. And I've never given him any, I don't know why.
He knows shit, man.
Listen, have a good day, Mr. Gilbert.
So again, he has no case there. He has no reason to be there. He has no reason to speak to this judge. And not once did I hear her say contempt of court or Mr. Allen. He comes, he asks for money, she gives him resources. Here's where you can get housing. Here's where you can get food. Here's where you can get education. Here's where you can get health care. She's tried to put him in a couple programs so far. And he doesn't want to go there. He just wants her to give him money. And he comes every couple days to get money. Oh, that poor girl. And she says to him, what can I get to stop you from coming here? He wants money. I'm not going to stop coming here, he said. I know. See, I know a lot of people are going to be mad and be like, no, I give him contempt of court. No, she did great. I thought she did great. Okay. Let's look at real quick. This is going to be real quick, but this is like, this is something that's upcoming. What we're doing is we're watching a motions hearing of a case that I'm absolutely going to get. This is just one motions hearing towards the insanity that's coming, I think in June. She'll say. Hold on, it's in here somewhere. There it is. Connecticut.
Honorable Carl Schuman is presiding. Good morning, Your Honor. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. This is the matter of Devon Smith versus State of Connecticut. Mr. Smith, I believe I see you. Can you see and hear me?
Yes,
All right, good morning, sir. And for the State of Connecticut, your appearance, counsel?
Good morning, Judge Joanne Sulik for the respondent.
All right, thank you for being here. Mr. Smith, I have your motion for disqualification, and this is a hearing on the motion. You state in the motion that I said at the February 10th hearing, Mr. Smith, well, you wrote in your motion that you don't mind removing the defendant's name from the case caption. Where did you get that quote? From your notes?
that's what you said on record.
Yeah, how do you know that?
You said it to me.
Right, but did you replay the recording of the proceeding, or is this from your notes?
This is from my memory of what took place that day,
I
February
see.
10th.
Okay. All right. Well, I replayed the court hearing. We have a system called FTR for the record, and it's not exactly what I said. I did say that I was going to strike Charmise Wolcott from the caption, but you can still proceed against the state. And then I said, and I think in your response to the state's motion to strike, you're okay with that. Am I correct? So I asked you whether that was your position, and your response is a little hard to hear, but to the best of my ability, you said, yes, that's right, Your Honor. So I asked you, I know that I asked you whether that was your position, and I believe your response was that it was okay to strike the name. In any event, this is a purely technical issue that does not relate to the merits of the case, and in my view is not a basis for disqualification of a judge. Is there anything you'd like to add, sir?
I understand that you would have that position, but from my recollection of the record, and
Okay.
I think it would be more fair if the record was verbatim repeated so that it'll be on record. But I distinctly remember hearing you say that, well, Mr. Smith, you said you don't mind being removed from the caption of the case,
Right,
or something very, very, very close to that effect.
right.
I
Clearly,
even wrote the state asking them, did I write that in any of the motions I filed? They refused to respond, but I mean, I knew that was going to happen. But that's what you said. I was so dumbfounded that you said it. I was looking at like, what's going on here?
no, I
So any
replayed the,
response, so just not to clear. So any response I made to what you said was, I was dumbfounded.
Mhm. All right. Well, I clearly asked you whether that was your position, and I believe you agreed that it was. It's a little hard to hear your response. But in any event, it's um, at most a little misunderstanding on a technical issue, because I had difficulty understanding what your position was from your motion for order. So that's why I asked you. But it's a purely technical issue that doesn't relate to the merits. Um,
I
but
understand that, not to
okay,
interrupt you. I understand that. But I
okay.
did, when you say motions for order, you mean the motion for articulation that I filed with the court. I just want the record to be clear. I know the
Mm,
court, the clerk's office often rename motions that are filed, but the motion I filed was a motion for articulation to ask the court specifically where and what where did he saw in my motion that I wrote that.
No, I'm referring to your motion for an order. That was your response to the state's motion to strike, and I didn't understand your position in your motion for order. It wasn't clear. That's why I asked you at the hearing whether you were okay with striking the name of Charmise Wolcott, and I believe you said you were okay with that. So I was referring to your motion for order. In any event, this concerns a purely technical issue because the case is going forward against the state of Connecticut, and Charmise Wolcott should not be personally named in a petition for a new trial. But I hear what you have to say, sir. Ms. Sulik, is there anything that you would like to add?
No, Judge, thank you.
Okay. Anything additional, Mr. Smith?
Yes, I'd like just to clarify the record that the judge's ruling is what the judge did, the court did. I'm talking about what was said regarding a motion I filed and the statement that I put something in my motion that was that there. In my mind, once that was done, I lost all confidence in the court, and I don't feel I'm gonna get a fair ruling in this matter. I just want to make that a matter of record.
Okay. All right. Well, I decide matters strictly on the merits without favor to either party, and that's how I intend to proceed in this case. So I think just looking at the schedule, Mr. Smith, your papers are due, I think, May 21st. Let's see. Yeah, May 21st. And then we have a hearing on cross motions for summary judgment on June 30th. Okay?
Yes, Judge, and, just for the record, if, Mr. Smith needs an additional week or two to
Okay.
get his objection in, we don't, mind that, we don't object.
Okay. Do you need that, sir, Mr. Smith?
I'm working on it now. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because at least according to my notes, it's due May 21st. It's
Monday.
basically
Well,
a couple work days away.
well,
Based on this. Yeah.
I would think it's best that I do get that extra time.
Okay. So why don't I give you to May 28th to file your papers?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll put that in an order. And Ms. Sulik, your reply was due June 6th. I'll give you to June 13th. And we can still have our hearing on the summary judgment motions on June 30th. Okay?
Sounds
Yep.
good to me.
All right. Anything further?
Not from the respondent.
Okay,
No, Your Honor, I'd just like to add that I make exception to your ruling. That's
okay,
why I put that on record.
okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll stand in recess. Have a good day, everyone. Bye now.
Court is in
You mean that didn't work? The judge wasn't disqualified over that? I want you to read the record into the record because I want you disqualified. And it happens a lot with inmates. The judge will ask them, so your position is you're not guilty, right? And then later the inmate will say, well, you said I wasn't guilty. No, he didn't. He asked if that was yours. All right, this next one is 9 minutes long. Nothing exciting happens, but you'll see why I got it.
Yeah, okay, terrifically. Very good. Now, all right, 73 DO2 2503 F6 69. Mr. Phillips, right?
Yes, sir.
Appears on behalf of Carson Crosby. Mr. Crosby appears in person. State of Indiana appears by Adam James. Set today for a change of plea hearing. I have a plea agreement here. Raise your right hand, Mr. Crosby. Do you affirm or the pains and penalties of perjury testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, state your name for the record.
Carson Crosby,
All right, date of birth.
12/1/94.
Do you read, write, and understand the English language?
Yes.
Show you up on the screen. See that plea bargain agreement?
Yes.
Is this plea bargain agreement that you read?
Yes.
And this is your signature?
Yes.
Okay. This plea agreement says you're pleading guilty to operating a vehicle while intoxicated with a prior conviction as a level 6 felony. You get
No, don't tie me to the train tracks.
a year, all but 10 days suspended. You're getting the 10 days because you got a prior conviction. You understand that? All right. You have to pay $189 in court costs, $200 countermeasure fee. You'll be on probation for 355 days. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Terms and conditions of probation include, do not commit to another offense. If you're arrested or charged with any offense, notify your probation officer within 24 hours. Pay probation administrative fees and user fees and fines, fees, and costs as ordered. Submit to assessment and treatment if deemed necessary to inpatient, outpatient programs. Report to your probation officers direct and notify within 24 hours of change of address, telephone number, or employment. Do not use any controlled substance or mind-altering substance. Submit to warrantless and or suspicionless searches of your property, personnel, and any place you or your property may be located by law enforcement, probation, or community corrections personnel at such times and places in the sole discretion of such personnel. Obtain, maintain employment, obey driving restrictions, do not consume, possess alcohol, don't be bars or taverns. Do an alcohol drug assessment, pay for it, do the independent victim impact class, and I'll determine the license suspension. At the back end of it, if you get everything done and do well, you can come back and ask me to knock it down to a Class A misdemeanor. Do you understand that?
Yes.
When you plead guilty, you give up constitutional rights. Those are in paragraph 17. You understand that?
Yes.
Anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to do this?
No.
Anybody promised you anything? This is your own free and voluntary act.
Yes.
And you understand you're given the right to an early public trial here in the county where the offense occurred. You're given the right to trial to the bench or to the jury. You had a jury trial in this case. We'd have put 6 folks in the jury box. They alone decided if you were guilty or not. At the trial, you would have been presumed innocent. You'd have had the right to remain silent. You'd have had the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You'd have the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses against you and to subpoena witnesses to testify on your behalf. You'd have the right to appeal any conviction entered against you as well as any sentence imposed upon you. Because you're pleading guilty today, you're giving up all those rights. Do you understand this?
Yes.
Did anybody force, threaten, or coerce you to do this?
No.
Anybody promise you anything?
No.
This is what you want to do.
Yes.
Did you fill out an appearance form for today for me? Yeah. All right. How do you plead then to operating a vehicle intoxicated with a prior conviction as a level 6 felony? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
On March 15th of 2025, you were driving and operating a motor vehicle in the streets of Shelby County, Indiana. Is that correct?
Yes.
Should not have been, correct?
Yes.
Because you were impaired, correct?
Yes.
You're impaired by alcohol or drugs or both?
Alcohol.
What were you drinking that evening?
Beers.
Where were you drinking them?
Little tavern up by Word.
Where's that?
Up in the Auto Works district.
Okay. Where were you going when you left?
I was going to see my cousin who was in town from the Air Force before he moved to New Mexico.
Was that here in Shelby County?
Yes.
All right. And how much did you drink?
Several beers.
Don't remember.
Yeah, enough.
Fair enough. You tested over twice the legal limit, right? 0.186 on the PBT. Was there blood drawn? Do we have the blood test results back yet? 0.217. Wow. Okay. So almost 3 times.
It's kind of where I realized that there was an underlying issue with my alcoholism because I didn't feel like I was that impaired at that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I kind of had the tolerance built up.
Right.
So that's when I realized that there was an issue with it.
Yep. Yep. Well, especially considering it's your second offense, it shouldn't take twice to realize that, right? Okay. Upon your plea, and you endangered yourself and other folks out there on the road, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Upon your plea of guilty, I'll find you guilty. I find your plea to be knowing, intelligent, voluntary, and there is a factual basis in your judgment of conviction for operating a vehicle while intoxicated with a prior conviction. Sent you to a year, suspend all but 10 days, give you credit for 1 + 1 day. You have 4 actual days to do. When are you going to report to do those days?
Judge, we would request consecutive weekends, and so he actually helps with the flag raising here.
The crosses out front.
Okay.
I do that every year, so I was going to see if I could wait until after that.
And so it'd be maybe the 24th, 25th, and then the 31st and 1st.
I'm fine with that. So report May 24th at 8 a.m. clean, sober with a copy of your sentencing order. And again, then on what did you say?
May 31st, that next weekend.
Yeah, May 31st, 8 a.m. clean, sober with a copy of your sentencing order. What do you do for a living, Carson?
I'm one of the head technicians up at the Bottle Work District, which is an assortment of.
I've been there.
I take care of everything, brick road, all the HVAC units, get contractors in, just pretty much everything.
You guys are pretty busy, I take it.
Oh yeah, there's just 3 of us to take care of the whole place, so pretty busy most of the time.
Yeah.
Probably where I'm going to go. Right, every time we've had court so far, I just leave from here and just go straight up there.
Right.
And continue the day.
So all those vendors have their own I don't know, little stations or whatever. Do you guys have to maintain those too, or?
Inside, well, the food hall, I don't have to do.
You don't have to
their
mess with
stuff
food
in
hall.
there, but I take care of all the movie theater, and then there's
Okay.
a couple other office spaces, and do the work request for
What about the hotel? Was that something you're responsible
I help
for?
out some of those. They have their own engineer that takes care of all that stuff.
Yeah.
So whenever they're down and stuff, or require work that I'm capable of doing and they're not, I'll go and help them.
So what are you capable of doing that others aren't? Do you have special training or
Yeah, I
something?
know electrical work. I've
Mhm.
been learning the HVAC since being up in there for so long, and
Okay.
I take care of the whole road because I was doing road work before I even my high school jobs and stuff like that. So that's another one of my responsibilities.
Where'd you go to high school?
Shelbyville.
Okay. All right, Carson. Well, you know, you're an intelligent young man, or you won't be able to do all the things you do. So let's use that intelligence and apply it, and you know, just knock off the behavior that keeps getting you here. So, you know, and if it's just you're just one of those guys that probably can't drink, you know, and it's tough because you're around bars all the time, and you're around people that drink all the time up there and all that. So it's a tough road to hoe. I get that, but you've got to do better because this is not helpful to you.
Yeah.
You have a family?
Yeah.
Kids?
Yeah.
No? Okay. All right, so you live in Noblesville. Do we want to transfer probation to Noblesville, or do you want to keep it here?
I was just gonna kind of talk to him about it if I'm able to like take my urine test and stuff up there, if I get called in for one, like if I can go and get it, because I enrolled in classes already after.
Up in Noblesville? I just think it'd be easier to transfer it up there probably for you. So, all right, we'll show it eligible transfer to Hamilton County. So, okay, so what's gonna happen today, Carson? You're gonna have a seat, wait for your citizen to read it and sign it. I gotta suspend his license for your counsel after 6 months. You can come back and see me. If I'm impressed, I'll probably grant him specialized driving privileges, but
Thankfully, he doesn't need a judge. He resides, his roommates are coworkers.
Okay.
So they're able to help him out.
well, good. Yeah, well, the Monon goes up to Noblesville, so hop on your bike and start pedaling, you know? Yeah, well, I've rollerbladed from,
It actually doesn't just go up. It actually does go up and over very nicely. He's proud of that. So I showcased it. All right, let's go to New Jersey.
140714. I see an indication of the defendant is sick. Obviously, defendant is in the court session now, and so that needs to be updated, Officer James. I also see some indication of a live scan issue. Was the live scan issue resolved?
Your Honor, I apologize. I can confirm whether the live scan issue was resolved or not, but I was not able to hear the first question that you asked me to confirm.
The first question is to update the final vertical that Mr. Gonzalez is before the court right now. So remove the indication that he is sick.
Okay, thank you. And I will confirm. Yes, team leader Leslie Plum did indicate that the live scan was completed.
Thank you. Mr. Gonzalez, please repeat your name for me and tell me your address.
Gabriel Gonzalez, 205 South 11th Street, Newark, New Jersey, 07107, apartment 3.
I will enter not guilty plea for you. I am now reviewing your public safety assessment report. It shows a risk scale for failure to appear of 6 and new criminal activity of 6. State's recommendation, please.
Your Honor, if I could make an inquiry of pretrial services on this matter. I know there was an email with regard to a 2018 matter. Is that the matter for which he was live scanned on? Because I was prepared today, Judge, on the 2025 matter, and we received an email that there's another case, W 2018 sequence 1710706.
Moderator, what's the status of the 2018 matter? It's not on the final vertical.
Hi, Judge. I'm going to interrupt. This is Team Leader Leslie Plum. That matter, it was incorrect. It was the wrong person. It was the wrong Gonzalez. So no need to address it.
That can be deleted from the edition.
It's not in the final vertical. It's not on the
No,
final
it's not
vertical.
on the final one. The one that was sent out is not on there, Mullen.
Okay, thank you.
Why is it different when I say it? I said it's not on the final vertical. Can everyone check their own final vertical to make sure that there is no 2018 complaint showing up for number 16? Gabriel Gonzalez is only a 2025 complaint. If you see a 2018 complaint, please indicate. The team leader has also confirmed that there is no 2018 complaint, right? Team leader Plum?
Yes, Judge. And now I'm going.
I just want them to hear from you that it is in fact accurate that there is no 2018 complaint on the final vertical.
No, it's not on my side. We deleted it. Mullen might be looking at one that was originally sent.
There was an email sent that there was another complaint for number 16. That's the only thing I'm addressing.
Yes.
I'm hearing now that it's a different Gonzalez and the state's ready to report on the singular complaint before the court. Thank you, Judge. May I? Your Honor, with respect to Mr. Gonzalez, notwithstanding the recommendation of no release, the state is inclined to continue the defendant on his current level of level 3 weekly reporting. We ask that there be no contact with the non-DV victims as the true owners, Your Honor, of the credit cards allegedly found on the defendant. This matter occurs within the confines of Newark's Penn Station. We ask that he be precluded from any contact with Penn Station unless, of course, he is a verified ticketed passenger. And finally, we would seek a weapons preclusion. Thank you, Your Honor.
The defense.
So are you recommending level pretrial monitoring level 3, Mr. Mullen?
Yes, Judge. So I'll note to the court, Mr. Gonzalez is already an active level 3. We will concede that he has been compliant as a level 3. As you know, the recommendation is no release. However, we will agree to continue him on level 3 weekly reporting.
Thank you, Mr. Mullen. Ms. Sorrell?
Yes, the defense has no objection to Mr. Gonzalez's, Gabriel Gonzalez being released, continued released on level 3.
Officer Santos, I'm not able to get into the order module because it says that you locked it.
Sorry, Your Honor, I'm logging out of it right now. Officer Santos.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Gonzalez, you will be released, but you must comply with the following. You must appear for all your court dates. You must notify pretrial services of any change in your contact information. You shall not commit any offense during the period of your release. You must have no contact with the non-DV victims of this offense, the true owners of the credit cards in question, their residence and their places of work, and no other type of communication with them. You must also have no contact with the Newark Penn Station unless you are a verified ticketed passenger. You must stay 500 feet away from the Newark Penn Station at all times. You must report to pretrial services by telephone once every other week and in person once every other week. Your next court date is June 9th, 2025 at 9 a.m. You will appear before Judge Romanation. Public Defender Lippi has been assigned to represent you, and they will speak with you before your court date. Do you understand? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I understand, Judge.
Then, in addition, you must also refrain from possessing a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You understand all these conditions of your release?
Understand, sir. Sir, a question for you. I do work with demolition. So demolition, reconstruction floors and sidings. If, my boss, asked me to have the night to cut the, siding, can I do it or no?
Sir, you know what I mean when I tell you not to possess any weapons. You know what I mean. If you're going to start describing when you are at work, if you can hold a knife, or in your kitchen, if you want to cut some meat, if you can hold a knife, then I am not sure what to respond to you. The purpose of not possessing any weapons is to ensure that the first alleged victims are not in any danger, and the community at large is not in any danger, and that nothing violent is going to result from you being in possession of those weapons. So when you are out of compliance with this order, your actions will tell you that you have started to do what violates the order. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I got you.
You can leave the booth now, please.
Then,
Yes, you can go.
right, thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
So I'll be out here, Judge.
So when you leave that booth, the officers will explain everything to you because they will have to give you a copy of the release order.
Okay, thank you. Bless you.
Is there?
I love him. I just love that judge. All right.
State of Indiana versus Troy Bowen. The record should reflect the defendant appears in custody of the Montgomery County Jail by video and with counsel John Dreyer, who's present here in the courtroom. What's the status of this case, sir?
Your Honor, we've got it set for a suppression hearing June the 23rd. Obviously, that's writing on that. That's going to determine the future of the case. So
We'll just leave the jury trial setting on for now, pending the outcome of the suppression hearing. July 22nd.
Okay. Doing okay, Troy?
Yeah.
You heard that the suppression set for June 23rd, right?
June 23rd.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll see you before then.
Okay.
All right. We will show the matter is set for a suppression hearing on June 23rd at 3 p.m. The case remains set for jury trial July 22nd at 8:30 a.m. Do you have any questions, Mr. Bowen?
No.
All right. That is all for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Phillips and Mr. Dyer, I'm going to have you tag team to get through the last couple of inmates, but then Mr. Phillips can maybe address some of his clients who are sitting here.
CJ, what time is it where you are?
Laura May.
What do you mean by tag?
You're going to tap out and he's going to sit at the council table. Tap out. This is 54D01 2502 F68480 State of Indiana versus Laura May. Could you state your name for the record, please? The record should reflect the defendant appears here in person and with counsel Christopher Phillips. What's the status of this case, sir? Good morning, by the way.
Morning.
What is the status of this case?
I have that with me. I provided her this copy. There's an underlying civil case as well as in your court, Your Honor. The parties are engaged in plea negotiations. Any additional time to effectuate those, we would ask for a continuance of the jury trial date and setting another status conference.
Any objections, state?
No objection, Your Honor.
So all the discovery has been received. You've had an opportunity to review it, or is there anything that's outstanding? I'm asking just because there are a multitude of counts here, so I just want to be sure that we're getting everything exchanged.
Provided Ms. May about 400 pages of discovery today.
Okay. We will show on defense motion. The matter is set for a status conference on July 8th at 9 a.m. for a jury trial September 23rd at 8:30 a.m. Absent further order from the court, ma'am, that's when you're ordered to be back. Do you have any questions? Anything further, Mr. Phillips? Anything further, state? All right, that's all for today. Thank you. At the jail there, could you state, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, you're.
23rd is the date of the trial, correct?
It is. At the jail there, could you state your name for the record?
Yes, Cotto.
This is the one. I got those first two by accident. They're bonus clips. This is the one we wanted to see.
These are two matters, 54 DO1, 2303 F5945, 2309 F63196. Each captioned State of Indiana versus Jeffrey Cottle. The record should reflect the defendant appears in the custody of the Montgomery County Jail by video and with counsel John Dreyer, who's present here in the courtroom. Mr. Dreyer, what's the status of this case? These cases?
I've not really, because Mr. Cottle's been out, there have been warrants issued yet, so I don't remember when. I've not had much conversation, if any, with the state. But I need to tell you though, Mr. Cottle has some profound health issues, including I think COPD. I don't know if he's going to get to jail. I don't know.
So we're about to hear Mr. Cottle's health issues, and all this lawyer cares about is that he has COPD. Now, Mr. Cottle's about to lay down some heavy health issues, and this judge, I mean, this lawyer keeps coming back. Yeah, but you have COPD, right? You have COPD.
It's going to be. How old are you, Jeff?
Gonna be 61 in June.
And may I ask a couple questions about that?
You can. Mr. Cottle, your attorney will have some questions for you. If you could raise your right hand to be sworn.
Yeah.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You can put your hand down. Please state your name for the record.
Jeffrey Wayne Cottle.
Thank you.
Okay, Jeffrey, it's been a while since we talked, but I do remember you have some profound health issues, and I can recall you going into coughing fits while we've been talking.
Yeah.
COPD from which you suffer?
And Lou Gehrig's disease.
Oh, yeah.
Which is lesions in your brain. And the muscular disease.
Yeah. But you also suffer from COPD, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other health issues?
I got sciatic nerve problems that gives out. And, I go into seizures and fade out and pass out.
And are you able to take the medications you've been prescribed while you're in jail?
I've been doing an inhaler and a nebulizer when I was in holding. But I was on an antibiotic for like 1 day before I got picked up. It's tough, but.
Well, my question is are there any medications the jail is not giving to you that you've been prescribed?
Well, I pay for it, do not resuscitate, so I just kind of letting things take its course because I don't really like taking medicines and stuff, but it's just a lot harder to breathe and things. But my home, they kind of took over my home and stuff. They approached me about buying it, but nobody's ever paid me anything and stuff. So it's just kind of up in the air.
Well, your home's a separate issue. We're talking about, I want to get to your health and I want the court to know about your health problems. Is there anything you want to tell Judge Barajas about your health?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, it's a terminal illness, lesions in your brain. It's like there's so much little known about Lou Gehrig's. Each person has, each family member that's died of it's had different ordeals and stuff. So it's, it's I don't know. I fade out and I hit the floor and different things and stop breathing and everything. So I don't know what the lesions in the brain does to, as far as mental status, but,
I think you had told me that you're treated by a physician at University of Chicago. Is that
yeah, it was in Northwestern.
North?
To Sadiq, but he passed away.
If the court were to release you, does she have to worry about you showing up for future hearings?
No, I'd show up.
Nothing for this. Thank you.
Mr. Cotto, you've been wanted on warrant for the past year and a half after you failed to appear in November of 2023.
Yeah, I was pretty sick and everything. Well, the police dropped this one girl off at my house twice, and she was hiding from her boyfriend, I guess. And so I thought she made a bed in my bathroom closet hiding from him. So then the police took the handcuffs off of my driveway because a bunch of us got pulled over. I just rode to town with them because I didn't have a vehicle, and people just kind of moved in on my place and stuff. So I found my son murdered there. I'm pretty sure murdered. I'm just going to put it that way. And so I was kind of in fear of my life at the time. I really had no intentions of fighting with any police. I just didn't know who was in my house and stuff, trying to get everybody out and stuff, but they weren't doing it. So I had no intentions of ever fighting with the police.
So my understanding of Lou Gehrig's disease, first of all, let me just say that I think I worked with Mr. Cottle's brother.
Steve, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in college at a local factory, and he had Lou Gehrig's disease, right? He passed away.
Yes. Yeah, so did my mom.
Yeah. But my understanding is that Lou Gehrig's disease typically doesn't affect your mental acuity. It affects your ability to control your voluntary muscle.
Well, it's a mental too. Lesions, it's a ambulogenic sclerosis. It's lesions in your brain.
I'm not going to argue with him because I'm not a doctor. My dad passed away of ALS, and he had no issues with his brain at all. It was just the rest of his body that shut down.
Also, it's a motor skill and esophagus. That's why I have a lot of trouble with my throat. It's because your esophagus gives out. Like my mom and brother both had feed tubes put in and stuff from that.
All right. So the status is that the cases need to be set for trial. We just needed to have a status hearing because he finally got attached on the warrant.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought by them releasing me from my handcuffs at the house that, that because the police, when I was in jail the first time, my account was being frauded, and they asked if I wanted them to investigate. I said yes. And so I thought they was there to remove people from my house, not me.
All right. So are you asking that we set the matter for further status conference and trial then? I mean, the matters, he was appointed Ashley Spolarich previously. Have you received all of the discovery for the cases? All right.
I think so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yes, it was a very, very busy, hectic day. And it wasn't until late last night that I saw that I had him on my agenda for today as I was preparing my cases. So.
Okay. State any objection to just setting the matters for status and trial?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, we will show in defense motion that the matters are set for a status hearing on July 8th at 9 a.m. for jury trial September 23rd at 8:30 a.m. Absent further order from the court, Mr. Cottle, that's when we will see you back. If the jail believes that your health condition is something that they cannot handle, they'll be in touch with the court to advise me of that so that we can address that.
Okay, because I'd appreciate getting out. It helped me a lot. And I would show up.
Anything further, Mr. Dreyer? Anything further, state?
No, Your Honor.
All right, that is all for today. We'll see you July 8th. Today, you're not being released until there are further discussions with the jail and their capabilities to care for your needs.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
That's all.
I like
Douglas
that.
Rowe, are you Douglas Rowe?
Even ALS, she's like, no, you absconded. I'm not letting you out. I wouldn't. I mean, if I had ALS and I wouldn't go back, would you go to court? No, no, you wouldn't go to court. I mean, unless you had nowhere to live and you needed a place, to finish out your ALS. But yeah, he's not coming back. Absolutely not. Okay. Now for the Kirby's. We're going to get into the Kirby's. There's no final order yet. I'll show you what I mean in the end. But I've been waiting over 10 days for a final order, and there's no final order yet. I think she might be doing it sometime in June.
That are due from the marriage.
No.
Okay. So for all other debts, are you asking that you be ordered to pay the debts in your name and he be ordered to pay the debts in his name?
Yes.
And for bank accounts, have you and Mr. Kirby ever shared a bank account?
No.
So are you asking the court that you be awarded your bank accounts and he be awarded his bank accounts?
Yes.
And you're, of course, asking the court to dissolve your marriage here today. What?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you speak up, okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. So sorry, I didn't hear anything. All right. Now, do you and Mr. Kirby have children together?
Yes.
Okay. How many children?
1.
All right. And what is her name and date of birth?
Avery Kirby, April 12th, 2018.
And how do you spell Avery?
Avory.
And where has she been living since you and Mr. Kirby separated?
With me.
And where does she go to school?
Indiana Math and Science Academy West.
And how does she get there each day?
I take her.
And is that the same school where you work?
Yes.
Now, was there domestic violence during your marriage?
Yes.
And is there a protective order in place between you and Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
And was that hearing held on August 13th, 2024?
Yes.
And that protective order's in place for, I believe, the next 2 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we ask the court to take judicial notice of that protective order, and I'll read that cause number right now.
Go ahead, counsel, and I will take judicial notice of the order.
49D16 2405 PO 23237.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Kirby, during the marriage for that protective order, was Avery ever present for that domestic violence?
Yes.
And in fact, that protective order actually also covers Avery as well, correct?
Yes.
And it also actually covers your other children who are not part of the divorce, correct?
They're not listed.
So no?
No.
Okay. So it covers you and Avery.
Yes.
Okay. And what did Avery see Mr. Kirby do to you?
He has witnessed him throwing dishes and breaking them.
Oh, hold on.
Objection.
Did you have an, yes,
There's no evidence towards this. This is just hearsay.
All right. Do you have a response to a hearsay objection, Ms. Swanson?
It's not hearsay.
You have evidence towards
Hearsay
that.
objection.
Said.
Oh, sustain the objection as to what the child witnessed.
Okay. When the domestic violence occurred that you're about to describe, was Avery present in the room?
Good job, per se dad. You got one. Good job. We're just gonna relish in your one victory real quick before we move on to not so much victories.
Yes.
What happened when Avery was present in the room?
She would cry and
No,
run to
what
me.
did Mr. Kirby do when Avery was present in the room for the domestic violence?
He would push me, choke me, threw dishes
Objection, Your Honor.
against the
I have,
wall.
I have all the evidence of this. I have the videos of her doing all of this, not me. This is why I asked for counsel. This is why I asked for the continuance, Your Honor. I'm about to get
All right.
railroaded into this for no reason.
Okay. So again, Mr. Kirby, that sounds like you
Railroaded.
have conflicting evidence, which is not an objection under the rules of evidence. You will have an opportunity to present evidence though. All right, so I'm going to overrule that objection. Go ahead, Ms. Swenson.
Ms. Kirby, please go ahead and continue with your answer.
He would choke me, push me, just scream at me. He's thrown dishes against the wall and broke them.
And when Avery was present, what did you see Avery do?
She would get scared and she would either run to her room or run to me and start yelling at her dad.
And was Avery fearful of Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
And with all of the domestic violence that occurred, a protective order was entered.
Yes.
And Mr. Kirby, was he also criminally charged with domestic violence?
Yes.
And
Objection, Your Honor. I was not criminally charged with domestic violence.
Okay. So I mean, Mr. Kirby, you're going to have an opportunity to present that testimony. Okay. But again, that's a disagreement with what she's saying, not so much an objection under the rules of evidence.
I understand what you're saying, Your Honor. I'm trying to get this all together myself, but like I said, I don't have counsel. I don't know the exact procedures to go with this. I don't know how to exactly speak to the courts. I'm just trying to defend my case, Your Honor. This is why I asked for the continue.
All right. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Swenson.
yes, Your Honor. And was he charged with violating that protective order?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we're going to ask the court to take judicial notice of the violation of the protective order where he entered a plea by agreement for violation of the protective order.
And that caused him as under counsel.
Calm down. They're going to talk about why he does not have a lawyer.
49D17 2407 CM 19356.
I will take judicial notice of the orders in that matter.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Ms. Kirby, during the marriage, how often was Mr. Kirby violent towards you in front of Avery?
At least 8 times.
Is how has Avery been since all of this has been since all of this occurred?
Well, she actually sees a counselor at school.
Okay.
Due to her behavior.
So
Because
she's
of
in
everything.
therapy from the
Yes.
domestic violence.
Yes.
During the marriage, did Mr. Kirby also use drugs?
Yes.
And he's been charged criminally for drug usage?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask the court to take judicial notice of one of Mr. Kirby's drug charges.
Class number, counsel.
48 H as in hotel 02 2407 CM 2882.
And counsel, where's that case located?
Anderson City Court, Madison County.
All right, I will take judicial notice of the orders in that case.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Kirby, to your knowledge, he was charged with possession of marijuana in this case, correct?
Yes.
And when you were together and afterwards, to your knowledge, did he start using additional drugs?
Yes.
And just 5 days after signing that diversion agreement, did he pick up another charge for meth and marijuana?
Yes.
Your Honor, we ask the court to take judicial notice of Mr. Kirby's additional charges in another case.
And what does that cause, counsel?
29 C as in cat 01 2503 F as in Frank 5 2579.
I can take judicial notice of the CCS and the new orders issued in that case.
Now, Ms. Kirby, since you and Mr. Kirby have separated, has he had any parenting time with Avery?
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you say he's yes to parenting time, was he supposed to have any parenting time with Avery?
No.
Now, so the one parenting time that you were talking about, did you authorize that parenting time?
No.
What happened?
It was Thanksgiving. She was with his parents and she was going to stay the night. They called me and asked if he could stop by and see her. I told them no. It's supposed to be supervised. I don't trust his parents to let that happen. He came over anyways. He took her without my knowledge for over 2 hours by himself, which is not allowed. And then even went back the next morning. And I filed a report that night.
With the police?
Yes.
Now, you had tried to facilitate, now you've been trying to facilitate and keep Avery in her paternal grandparents' lives. Even though
Yes.
you're having problems with the father, correct?
Yes.
They violated your trust.
Yes.
And at that time, he had been served, Mr. Mr. Kirby had been served with the protective order when he took Avery.
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor. I was not served with that paperwork. It states on the actual log for Marion County, I was not served with that paperwork.
All
And
right.
that's why the detective decided not to pick that case up.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kirby, again, that's a different side of the story, which you will have an opportunity to tell me as well, but not so much an objection or the rules of evidence. We'll overrule that. Go ahead, Ms. Swenson.
And at the PO hearing, it had been, as you stated, ordered that any parenting time that he was supposed to do was supposed to be through a facility.
That's what we requested. Yes.
Okay. And so because of all this, you have trust issues.
Yes.
As well as from the domestic violence as well.
Yes.
Okay. So here today, are you asking the court for sole legal and sole physical custody of Avery?
Yes.
Okay. Now, for the sole legal custody of Avery, do you feel that you can make decisions with Mr. Kirby?
No.
Okay. And with the protective order in place, the two of you aren't allowed to communicate, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Do you want Mr. Kirby to have any type of parenting time with Avery at this time?
Yes.
Do you want it to be supervised?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking that it be through a facility such as Kids Voice, where it's supervised by a third party that that essentially has no skin in the game?
Yes.
Okay. And you, after what happened with his parents, you don't feel that you can trust them anymore.
No.
Okay. And asking that he be responsible for all fees associated with the supervised visitation.
Yes.
And do you believe that Avery's physical and mental well-being would be seriously endangered if Mr. Kirby was to have unsupervised parenting time?
Yes.
Now, as you stated, Avery sees a therapist. Is that still helping her get through all of the anguish that she went through from observing the domestic violence?
Yes.
Now, are you still concerned with Mr. Kirby's drug use?
Yes.
And with the most recent drug charges that he just picked up on March 31st, 2025, are you concerned that he's still using serious drugs such as meth?
Yes.
Are you asking that he take a hair or nail follicle drug screen before he can begin that supervised parenting time to make sure that he's not using illegal drugs before he begins his supervised parenting time?
Yes.
And asking that he be responsible for that cost before he begins his supervised parenting time?
Yes.
All right. Now, Miss Kirby, you stated that you currently work at the school. What was the name of that school?
Indiana Math and Science Academy West.
And what do you do there?
I'm an administrative assistant for the Dean of School Culture.
And do you make approximately $850 a week?
Yes.
And do you pay child support for any other children?
Yes.
And is that approximately $150 a week?
Yes.
And do you know how much Mr. Kirby makes?
Around 2,000 a week.
And how do you know that?
From him telling me.
All right. Now, at the very first hearing, we handed Mr. Kirby a stack of your exhibits that was supposed to be in person, and that included a child support worksheet. And are you asking, based on that child support worksheet, for Mr. Kirby to pay $246 per week in child support?
That sucks,
Yes.
Micah.
Yes.
Your Honor, we did e-file that exhibit that we had previously provided to Mr. Kirby. It'll get through the system eventually. It might have already loaded up, I'm not sure.
Thank you, Donald.
It has been marked as Petitioner's Exhibit 1. I'm not sure if it's loaded up yet, Your Honor.
See Petitioners 1. Mr. Kirby, do you have an objection to Petitioners Exhibit 1?
Yes, Your Honor. I do not make $2,000 a week, and you can reflect that by my W-2s.
Okay.
Make
All right.
$50,000 a year.
Okay. All right. So again, that's going to be conflicting testimony, not necessarily an objection to the exhibit itself. I will show Petitioners Exhibit 1, admitted over objection.
Now, Ms. Kirby, are you asking that child support amount be retroactive to the date of filing of July 12, 2024?
Yes.
And since July 12, 2024, the date of filing, has Mr. Kirby provided you any type of support for Avery?
No.
Okay. And
this is why you got a lawyer. All these things could have been spiraling down rabbit holes, but this lawyer and this judge kept it right on topic, and she's making point after point after point after point. Don't worry, we're going to hear from him.
For the tax exemption, are you asking that you be allowed to claim Avery every year as the tax exemption?
Yes,
And is that because that you provide everything for Avery, all of her food, all of her clothing, everything that she needs?
yes,
And Mr. Kirby has not supplied any type of help for her since the separation, and you don't anticipate that he's going to supply anything in the future.
correct.
I object to that, Your Honor, by stating that there was a protective order. I could not get in contact with her legally, so how could I provide for my child?
Yeah, Mr. Kirby, that's, I think, yes, that's a different perspective and I think a request for me to do something different than what she's requesting. And you will have an opportunity to present that to me, but again, not so much an objection for the rules of evidence. All right, go ahead, Ms. Swenson.
And Ms. Kirby, are you requesting that you receive your maiden name back?
Yes.
And what is that name?
Zicker. Z as in zebra, I-C-K-U-H-R.
All right.
I wouldn't
And
have
Ms.
done
Kirby,
that.
is there anything else that you'd like to request of this court today?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, I tender the witness.
All right, before I go to Mr. Kirby, the court did have a question. Does the child currently have health insurance?
Yes,
Okay, and who provides that health insurance?
I do.
And what is the weekly cost for the health insurance?
It's through the state, so I don't pay right now.
So currently she has Medicaid?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, and then Mr. Kirby, do you have any questions for Ms. Kirby based on her testimony today?
Just mostly like what evidence you have of me domestically violating you 8 times in front of my daughter. What evidence would you also have of plates being smashed on the wall or any type of violence on my end?
All right, so Mr. Kirby, just kind of a point of order. When you're asking questions of a witness, just ask one question at a time, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so your first question, go ahead.
What evidence do you have of me violating you domestically 8 times?
I have already submitted evidence to my attorney.
Well,
I do
what
not
I'm asking
have
is,
it.
so you don't have evidence for that 8 times?
Not every single event.
Okay. And then the Buick Encore that you have, you had stated that it was a key fob that was not there. That is not in my possession. The mirror as well was left at the location of the home.
That is not correct.
And then I guess, okay, I'm sorry, but did the amount of money, the $2,000, and what you're stating that I make weekly, what evidence do you have to that?
I only have what you have told me.
No evidence. And then the trust loss with my parents, was that the only instance of the trust loss was just from Thanksgiving?
No.
Okay, could you elaborate?
I mean, pretty much since the separation, they have helped me, which I'm thankful for. I did not ask, they offered, but they continued to go behind my back and either not believe me, making me feel like I was crazy when I would tell them what was going on, or simply stating that it is no big deal. We should just get this over with. You would never do anything to harm any of us when they don't know what fully happened.
Okay. Well, I do think that their unwavering dedication to you had shown because of, they completely lost contact with me. So
I don't.
I would say
Objection, not a question.
All right, I'll sustain that. Mr. Kirby, I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell me your side, but right now just focus on questions, okay?
yes, ma'am. There are 5 instances of a grand total of $29.27 for toll roads that were made with the 2020 Buick Encore. Is there any reason why you are not paying those tolls?
Yeah, that is not accurate. You received that bill from your parents before I was able to pick it up, and it's been paid. It's been paid since last summer.
Okay, well, there are emails that we have for evidence as well that were received, all 5 of them yesterday, grand totaling $29.27 for toll roads for a 2020 Buick Encore.
As I stated.
Objection, not a question.
All right, I'll sustain that. Mr. Kirby, again, take these notes, write down for when you have your opportunity to tell me, but right now just focus on questions to her, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm trying to figure it out. I said I don't have counsel. I was close to obtaining counsel. We're proceeding. So now so you did file for divorce in July of 2024, correct?
Yes.
Were you the original person that asked for the divorce?
I'm sorry, I did not hear your question.
Were you the person that originally asked for the divorce?
Yes, I originally asked for the divorce.
Okay. And why did you ask for the divorce?
Objection, irrelevant.
Relevance is here because of, my evidence that I have as well. There's relevance towards this question.
We're going to irreconcile a different state.
I'm going to sustain the objection. Okay, go to your next question, please, Mr. Kirby.
One second, we'll run out to my vehicle and grab a piece of paper that I have out here.
Hold on, Your Honor. I got to go out to my car real quick. Yep. Probably, JK. Probably.
Okay, sorry, Your Honor. I'm just getting back inside real quick. Right. Okay, I have a summary of the request that you had asked previously for. And then it states on here that we would actually, that you have actually, you stated that you couldn't refinance the vehicle in your name. Why is that?
Objection, outside the scope of correct.
Overrule the objection. She can answer.
So that is not correct. I actually found a place that would refinance, and they required that you signed paperwork that they emailed you, and it had to be done within a short window and you refused to do so. So therefore I lost that refinance opportunity. It was with Open Road.
Sorry, no one contacted me through Open Road, and I do
Objection,
apologize
not
if I
a
never
question.
Okay, all right. I'll sustain that. All right, Mr. Kirby, next question for this witness.
Okay, you had just stated that you were not able to refinance the vehicle. But you just stated now, you stated that with your attorney asking me questions, you stated now that you can refinance the vehicle, but they needed my time frame to do so. They needed my signature or something like that. Do you know
Objection.
why?
This states many things. I never asked her a question about not being able to refinance a vehicle.
Okay, I will sustain that objection. Mr. Kirby, if you could rephrase your question, please.
What is stopping you from refinancing that vehicle right now? To get my name.
I have to find a lending company that is willing to refinance me. And then once I find another company, since I missed my opportunity with Open Road, they have to contact you. You have to do your due diligence and sign certain paperwork to get your name off. I have been denied through multiple companies. And it puts a hard inquiry on my credit every time, making it even harder to find a company to refinance. I have paid solely on the vehicle. Since the down payment, I have provided insurance plates. I have provided all of that information to my attorney.
Okay. In September of 2023 was the purchase date, correct?
Yes.
And you made every payment, correct?
Every payment.
Are you on time with those payments?
Yes.
Have you made any type of deferments on those payments?
I've never made a deferment on those payments. I actually have it set up now where they changed it
Yes,
where
Your Honor, I have paperwork of her deferment of 2 payments just a month ago on the back end of the actual payments, which extends the time frame of that contract, which extends my credit being affected with that contract even longer.
All right, so Mr. Kirby, again, that's not so much an objection as you have a different, you have a different side of your story that you want to tell. And again, you're going to have an opportunity to do that. Okay. All right, let's go to your next question.
You had stated my daughter was present during these domestic violence actions or whatever you want to call them. What time were these incidents happening?
all of these incidents happened at night. It was when you would get home from work and before she would go to bed.
And where would they ever sleep at night?
She would sleep in the bed with me.
Okay. And at what time do you remember a day in which Mr. Kirby had asked you just to name 3 good things his daughter has done?
You have asked me that multiple times. I don't recall the time nor the date.
Okay. Do you recall that Mr. Kirby would ask you that because of the negativity in which you would bring to our daughter and would have issues with little things that she would do?
I dated a guy like this once. He would do something wrong, like hurtful, hurt my feelings. And I would tell him what, that how bad that was, how it hurt my feelings. And he would keep asking me, yeah, but I've done something right. You know, tell me what I did right. Tell me 2 things I did right. Tell me 3 things I did right.
If you would like, I can explain.
No, I just need a yes or no.
Yes, I recall you asking me that question.
And was there a time in which Avery would shy away from me coming into the house?
All the time.
Is there an instance in which you can think of where I had came home and all heck has broken loose of arguments with my daughter?
Yes.
Okay. And you'd say that Avery's seeing a counselor right now, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you said it was under the basis of what, the domestic violence that occurred?
Yes. I also stated it was for her behavior because of that.
Do you remember a text message between you and I where I had stated that I was going to contact someone, and you had told me if I did, you would call the police and get a restraining order?
I don't recall any text message.
In those messages, do you recall an instance where you have actually begged, and stating that begging to not grant a divorce to you?
I don't recall those messages.
Okay. And you did say that all hope was lost with my parents, with your relationship.
Trusting them to have you around my child, yes.
Do you recall making a statement and messages, text messages, that stating that I'm a great father, Avery loves me, no problems? Do you recall that?
I don't recall those messages.
Your Honor, I guess that's about it right now.
All right, thank you, Mr. Kirby. Ms. Swenson, redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Kirby, for the bill concerning the toll roads, did you get that paid?
Yes.
And let's see. And then I apologize, I did have an omitted question for you. Are you asking Mr. Kirby to contribute towards your attorney's fees?
Yes.
And we took your case on at the modest means rate, is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
We took your case on at the modest means program, is that correct?
Yes.
And so you pay us at the rate of $75 per hour?
Yes.
And you are asking for a contribution of $22,300, is that correct?
Yes.
And even at modest means, that does seem pretty high, correct?
Yes.
But due to all the continuances by Mr. Kirby, unfortunately, it did reach 2,300.
Let's see what she's talking about, shall we? Okay, let's go up to the top. This is their case. Now, really, this isn't the worst that I've seen. I've seen much, much, much worse. This was only filed in 2024, less than a year ago. We've seen cases 3-4 years old, but this is everything that has happened. all the court dates that has happened in this divorce so far. It's probably his fault, and you'll see why. It has a lot to do with his getting a lawyer, but this is the end that I'll talk about in a second.
Correct.
And you're asking that he contribute to that full amount.
Yes.
And based on the question that you received from Mr. Kirby, do you still stand by all of your previous requests?
Yes.
No other questions, Your Honor.
All right, your next witness, Ms. Swenson.
No other witnesses, Your Honor.
Show the petitioner rest. All right, so Mr. Kirby, if you could raise your right hand for me and let me know when it's raised.
It's raised.
All right, do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you give this morning will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may lower your hand, and if you could please state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Jonathan Kirby, Jonathan. Last name Kirby, Kirby.
All right, so Mr. Kirby, this is your opportunity to tell me how you are requesting I make the divisions of any outstanding property, as well as your request for the child. So you can go ahead. I'm not gonna have you ask yourself questions and answer. You can just give me the summary of your request and why you're asking for that.
Yes, ma'am. So, really, I would like to be awarded 50-50 custody of my daughter. I haven't seen my daughter since Thanksgiving. That is correct. And it wasn't somewhere of a gang up or anything like that. It was me going up to speak to my parents on Thanksgiving, and they had my daughter. I asked my daughter if she wanted to go to my house and hang out, and we played, and she cried when she left because she said she'd never see me again.
Objection, hearsay.
Your response to a hearsay objection, Mr. Kirby?
All right, so
So sustain the hearsay objections to the statements of the child, show the same stricken. All right, go ahead, sir.
All right, so I lost on our whole entire relationship goes back to Mrs. Kirby lying about some certain things and instances that took a toll on myself emotionally.
Okay. Let's see real quick if she's lying about his past. Okay. This is the latest one. This was from March. Possession of meth, possession of marijuana, possession of paraphernalia. Hold on. Eviction. This is where we're at right now. Invasion of privacy violates protective order. Possession of marijuana. This is not him. This is a credit card company that got him. That's not him. I think this is him. So he was evicted. He was evicted. That's the same thing. I think this is him. This is a small claims from Franklin Township, but I don't know what it is. Small claims from Washington Township. And then small claims from Washington Township. This person is different than this person, but these two people are the same. But it just keeps going. It goes on. This is 4 pages. They might not all be him, but she's such a liar. She tells stories about him. And you're right. Other than those, she shouldn't be allowed to say lies, even if they're true.
For over a year, I slept in a chair, and I have visual evidence for that. Because I could not sleep next to my wife because I just could not trust my wife. I had asked her for divorce over and over and over
Stay
because
right
of the
here.
lie she had told, which I have evidence to prove those. And so I asked her for a divorce. And when I asked for that divorce, she begged me and begged, but please don't do this. Please. Have all the text messages. Don't do this. Please don't do this to us. And when I finally told her, no, I'm done, because I'm sick of it. That's when, okay, well, you're going to be sorry. I'll at least let you have supervised visits. It's never been a cordial moment with Mrs. Kirby.
Sir, the courts don't just take away your children because the wife, your ex-wife, wants them to. There has to be a reason.
She has been told numerous times.
I believe she begged. I do believe that.
Messages, verbally, in person, but she self-sabotages. That she does the things she does because she has no clue why. She has been on Zoloft on numerous occasions, Wellbutrin on numerous occasions.
Your objection,
Your Honor.
So legitimate medical, mental health medicine she's been on. He's on meth.
Well, hold on, Ms. Swenson, what's your objection?
Argumentative, Mr. Kirby lacks any foundation for these statements.
These statements are foundation by text messages that your client has actually sent me.
The magistrate is very pretty.
I guess Mr. Kirby, why is her mental health and mental health medication relevant today?
The suicide notes that she has written myself and she has written our daughter, also stating that I'm a great dad. Your dad's going to take care of you. He loves you so much.
There's no
Everything's
evidence
stated in that, so
any of this.
I understand what you're saying. Sorry.
All right. Well, for the present circuit, the court's been presented this far, I'm going to sustain the objection. Let's move along, Mr. Kirby.
Your Honor, that's basis to this entire thing. So since I'm going to ask for this continuance again, this is crazy that you're going to allow me to even do this, and you're going to move along my evidence I do have, legally have. If I'm stating that on the record now, Your Honor, wouldn't that be perjury if I didn't have that evidence? And I'm willing to stake against perjury that I have this evidence. If we could get this continuance, then I will have counsel and I will be able to present this evidence.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kirby, I'm going to deny that. If you have evidence that you are moving to introduce, you may do that.
How is this just, Your Honor? How is that just?
Okay.
You're going to deny
So,
the
Mr.
evidence,
Kirby,
but
let's shift back into what you are asking me to do today.
I'm asking you to give me a fair trial.
Okay. So,
And I'm asking the court to give me a fair trial.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Kirby, as far as the items of personal property, let's return to that. In your opinion, have you divided items of personal property?
Everything's already been divided except for that vehicle, man.
When you say except for that vehicle, are you talking about the Buick?
The 2020 Buick Encore, yes.
What are you asking me to do with the Buick?
I would like for Carrie to take my name off of that vehicle, as I have evidence of her being late on payments and deferring those payments, which would also constitute perjury, wouldn't it?
I can actually explain what he's
No, thank you, Ms. Kirby. All right, so you are asking either that she refinance it in her name only, and if she's unable to do that, would you like me to, that she be ordered
I
to
would
sell
like
it?
to
You
be
just
ordered
want
the
your name
vehicle.
off of it? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and as far as the key fob for that vehicle, do you have one of those key fobs?
No, ma'am. Key fob was left on a dining room table.
And as far as the oval mirror that is in dispute, do you have possession of that?
No, ma'am. That mirror was left at the house. It had a broken leg on it.
All right, and do you agree with the request that you both be responsible for individual debts in your own names?
No, because it will go back to the debt I have with the vehicle in my name, in her name.
Right, so I'm not talking about that joint debt. I'm talking about anything separate that you might have.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, I want to talk about Avery a little bit here. You said you want 50-50 custody. There are two types of custody. There's physical custody, meaning where the kiddo lives, and legal custody means who makes decisions about them. When you say 50-50 custody, what are you asking me to do? What does that mean to you?
Oh, to me, I was thinking it was meaning like she would live with me half the time, live with her mother half the time. You know, I've been in my daughter's life for her entire life up until I asked for a divorce. I look at this as just a strategic ploy of what's going on, of how she's trying to get custody of my kid.
Okay. All right. So to you, that's about where she lives regarding decision making. You know, that's the legal custody portion. What are you asking me to do with that?
I would like to have a 50-50 shake of saying what we should do with our daughter.
So you want joint legal custody?
Yes, ma'am. I've never once presented myself as any type of violent threat towards my daughter or towards my ex. There's a lot of moving parts here, and it's not just a
Sir, shall I pull up the protection order real quick? Do you want me to do that? Because you violated it, remember? So not only did you do something wrong, you then violated it, which is wrong.
Clear cut and dry is what it sounds.
Okay. And what is your current weekly income?
My current weekly income, so I'm on a commission base. Last year I made $59,800 and some odd dollars, which would average out to $1,033 or something like that a week before taxes or after taxes.
So you said that's last year. Do you make the same amount this year on average that you were making
Correct.
last year?
Yes, correct.
And do you have any children born before Avery?
Yes, I do.
All right. And how many prior born children do you have?
One.
And is that child currently a minor?
Yes.
And do you pay child support for that child?
Yes.
And what is your weekly child support order for that child?
I believe it's $135.
Do you have any children born after Avery?
No.
Do you have any work-related childcare expenses for Avery?
No.
Do you have any healthcare expenses for Avery?
Not at this current moment, no. Just her Medicaid that she has now.
Have you provided for Avery since the separation?
I was unable to. I wasn't able to contact my parents or anyone, and I was not certain of the actual steps and channels to actually, navigate through to get there.
Is there a marital residence?
There was a marital residence, but not anymore. No,
Was that a home that you owned together, or were you leasing?
we rented.
Did you rent?
We rented.
And so there's not a current lease?
No.
Right. All right, mother's requesting that you be ordered to take a drug screen. Do you object to that request?
Yes, ma'am.
Why is that?
Well, number one, the charges in Hamilton County are pending. Those pending charges right now there is no admittance of guilt. The ones in Anderson, they were community corrections release. It wasn't basically saying I was guilty, it was saying that I was guilty to get it over with. I just fully object to that. More or less that Mrs. Kirby, I would ask for the same for her then.
And why is that?
Just because of her her instability on her mental issues that are going on, that have been going on. And she likes to self-medicate, as we are both recovering addicts. I've actually been sober for 1,753 days.
And mother's requesting that she be permitted to claim the child for each tax year. What are you requesting the court order regarding the tax
I was just
exemption?
requesting every other year, just every other year, and I can claim every other year.
Right. Was there
anything
else?
We had a Kirby growing up, and it was amazing, and it lasted forever. We had the same Kirby my whole entire childhood.
Any other requests you have for me this morning, Mr. Kirby?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Swenson, any questions on either Mr. Kirby's testimony or the court's questions?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Kirby, where do you currently work?
Moon Family Plumbing.
I'm sorry, can you say that a little bit louder?
Moon Family Plumbing.
And how long have you worked there?
2.5 years.
And what do you do there?
I'm a state licensed plumber.
And to make sure I heard this right, you said you make $59,800 a year plus commission?
No, that is my commission. That's what I get. I get paid commission. I get paid a percentage of the profit on a job.
He's a liar. He's a liar.
Which is a W-2, and I make $59,000 yearly.
Wait, what?
How
did
is
you
your
say?
commission the same every year?
It's not the exact same. It could be 59 today. It could be 61 the next. But it's
He's
only varies with
lying.
$5,000. It's never varied within $40,000 to $50,000.
And what is your current address?
3109 North Annapolis, Indiana, 46205.
And how long have you lived there?
5 months.
And who lives with you?
My cousin.
And does your cousin have a criminal history?
What relevance does this have to do with it?
All right, do you have a response for relevance objection, Ms. Swenson?
Your Honor, he's asking for unsupervised parenting time with the child. If the cousin has a criminal history as well, that's relevant.
All right, for that limited purpose, I will allow the question.
Okay. Yes, he does have a criminal record
And what is
for child support.
what has he been
For
convicted of?
child support. I don't know everything. I know child support's one of them.
What's your cousin's name?
Joe.
Joe what?
Irrelevant, Your Honor. Why do I have to state my cousin's name? My cousin does not give me permission to speak his name in court.
If there's a chance he's going to be around the child, Your Honor, and he has a criminal history.
Your Honor, this is just, okay. I'm sorry. My apologies.
All right, I'm going to overrule the objection. You can answer, sir.
Hat trick among the mods.
And where were you living previously to the Park Avenue address?
3801 North Meridian, number 807, 46208.
And who did you live with there?
No one.
Previously to that, didn't you live with your parents?
No, previously to that, I lived at 1622.
He got evicted from
12th Street,
both of those places we just saw.
Okay. And are you currently using drugs?
No, ma'am.
And once the protective order was issued, you continued to contact Miss Kirby, correct?
No.
I was trying to pay child support.
You've been convicted of violating the protective order, correct?
Ma'am, okay, objection. I dropped a dog off at my parents' house, not knowing that was illegal, and that's what we were violated our protective order, which was an unconstitutional protective order since I was never served with said protective order.
All right, so Mr. Kirby, that was more of a response as to what happened, not so much an objection.
This is just like her trying to rope me into a circle. She's just trying to rope me into stating that, yeah, I violated a protective order.
All right, so Mr. Kirby, I will give you an opportunity to offer any clarifying statements based on the cross-examination. Okay, so, but again, that's not so much an objection under the rules of evidence. Go ahead, Ms. Swenson.
So, Mr. Kirby, once the protective order was issued, you continued to contact Ms. Kirby, correct?
No.
You were convicted of violating the protective order, correct? With an invasion of privacy charge?
Correct.
Okay. And you then continued to contact Ms. Kirby by leaving notes on her car?
No. Where
did you leave notes for Ms. Kirby?
I never left any notes. I don't know where the
Sarah,
notes was coming
thank you. Thank you,
Left her
Sarah.
a green note written in red. Carrie, please call me ASAP. I love you.
from. No. Your Honor, where is the evidence to this for one, and where does it say that it's mine? This is I've never.
All right. Speaking of, I heard the greatest story today. So this guy was just like this guy right here. He was trying to contact his ex, and his ex had him blocked on everything. So he created a new account, a female account, and he sent her a text. And it was something like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm like blank weeks pregnant. It's his. I think we should talk. And she called him back immediately. She called him back within minutes, and he's like, "Why won't you talk to me? I love you, baby. Happy birthday."
Heard it.
You then wrote on the back of an envelope, please call me, please, I'm begging you, I love you, on the back of an envelope and left
No,
it.
Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor.
And your objection, Mr. Kirby.
This is hearsay. I've never done this.
All right, so Mr. Kirby, I have your testimony that you did not do that. Okay, I have that. All right, so next question, Ms. Swenson.
And you
Are
continue.
you going to sustain that objection, Your Honor?
Well, again, Mr. Kirby, what you're giving me is a different perspective, not so much an objection. Okay, so I've heard your testimony that you did not do that. I've heard that. Okay.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
So let's go to our next question, Ms. Swenson.
Sure. And then Mr. Kirby, you continued to contact Ms. Kirby by sending her texts, correct?
No, ma'am.
Did you send her a text stating, since you're not going to answer, I'm just going to call the school and press every single extension I think is yours, and I'm going to ask the voicemail whether you think you carry Zicker or carry Ralston or whatever, whether or not you answer?
I don't recall that at all, ma'am. Okay. What day was this?
Okay. And then you also sent her a text message from a burner phone saying, "Hi, I just wanted to give Carrie a heads up, but someone wrote this number on a bathroom stall out near Edinburgh and said to call or text Carrie."
No.
And then you proceeded to text her again after she said, "Jonathan, you need to stop contacting me." And you texted, "Please,
No,
if you ever loved me, you would drop all of this. You think you have some kind of case right now, but you definitely do not want to get me arrested. Explain that to my daughter. Please, I will not ever stop loving my daughter or you." Do you remember sending her that text?
Yeah, no, none of those were ever sent. By me, at least. I don't know if. Never mind. It was not by me.
Okay. Now, now you've, as you stated, never sent any support to Miss Kirby since you all have separated, correct?
Correct.
Yet you could have given that support to your parents to give to Miss Kirby, right?
Objection, Your Honor. I could not have because the house and my parents were on that protective order.
I mean, Mr. Kirby, that wasn't so much an objection as your answer to the question. So I heard your answer. But again, that wasn't an objection under the rules of evidence. All right, next question.
But as you stated, Mr. Kirby, you said you didn't know the protective order was under your parents' house or in place Thanksgiving when you picked up Avery. So which is it?
My parents stopped talking to me. Okay, so that's why I stopped talking to my parents.
So you could have provided support for Avery on Thanksgiving of 2024, but you chose not to.
All right. Okay, I see what we're doing here. Good job. No, it's not about choosing not to.
So
okay,
either you chose not to provide support or you knew the protective order was in place. Which is it?
It was neither at that point. I was buying stuff for my daughter separately. Like I had everything separately.
He was waiting so much for an aha moment. He finally got one, but it wasn't his.
I was looking to finish this case a lot quicker than it was.
Okay. How much money do you have in the bank right now?
Relevance.
Response to a relevance objection, Ms. Swenson.
Goes to support of the child, Your Honor.
That would be. I can issue that on a paperwork. I can fill out paperwork for that. I don't need to tell you how much I have in the bank right now.
All right. For that purpose, I will allow him to answer.
Let me see. Give me 1 second.
$200, Your Honor. I got.
Very moment. It's $415.52.
Liar.
All right. Now, your child, the prior born that you have, where you stated that you pay $135 a week, do you actually pay that child support?
It's supposed to be taken out of my check, yes.
Is it taken out of your check?
I'm assuming yes. You know, I have a company that I work for. I'm sure they take it out of my check.
Have you looked at your pay stubs lately to see if it's actually taken out of your check?
No, I have not. I've tried to get my pay stubs for other tax purposes, and I have to.
I can't see my pay stubs, because of COVID, and there was a tornado that came through, and then the storms hit, and I lost power. So yeah, I can't. I lost my password. I can't look at my pay stubs.
Contact into it and get it. I cannot get access to my account.
Okay, so you have no idea if you're actually current or paying your previously ordered child support.
I believe that I am paying my child support.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a question for you.
All right, Mr. Kirby, you can ask your question, and I might or might not be able to answer. Go ahead.
Ms. Swinson is actually an attorney, my first ex-wife, and these questions might be forwarding to another case or another attempt of more child support from me.
He's still in legal battles with his first ex-wife.
So
I'm
what?
gonna have to ask
I
Your
guess
Honor,
what
who's his
objection
first
do I-
ex-wife?
Heather Davis.
Okay, well, I mean, that's not necessarily a question that I can
I guess I just don't know what I
answer
should
for
do
you.
at that standpoint, because I think this would be leading into something else that counsel would go ahead and have an upper hand for my other ex-wife, which wouldn't that be illegal? I guess that's where I'm confused at. Like, why?
I can honestly tell the court I didn't remember that.
Okay, so, I mean, yeah, Mr. Kirby, that's not so much a question that I can answer for you. Because I can't give you any form of legal
Yeah, that's why I needed
advice.
legal counsel, Your Honor. This is why I needed just a little more time.
Mr.
Do you
Kirby,
understand the debacle in which I am speaking to the courts right now? I have no clue what's going on. All I know is that I'm just trying to get my child.
Mr. Kirby, you've had 10 months to retain an attorney. You told me in February you would only need 10 to 14 more days. We've had this hearing set for 2 months. And so the court has given you that opportunity. All right, so let's see, Ms. Swenson, next question, please.
You know what that means, right? That means he can't appeal it because the court didn't give him time to get a lawyer. He can't appeal it.
All right, so Mr. Herbert, I just do want to make sure you are 100% clear now that there is a protective order entered in against you on behalf of Miss Kirby and Avery Kirby. Is that correct?
I know about the protective order for Miss Kirby, yes.
And that it also includes Avery.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Kirby,
Does
would
that
you
protective order
object?
still state for my?
I'm sorry, what?
Does that protective order still state that my parents are on that protective order?
You mean your parents' house?
My parents and the parents' house, yes. Because wouldn't the parents' house be every occupant, every occupant of the dwelling? Roger and Tracy Kirby.
Oh, Your parents' names are listed on the protective order.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Mr. Kirby, would you object to you and Miss Kirby be ordered to use a parenting app for communication, such as one that's called Our Family Wizard, for all communications between you and Miss Kirby to communicate any information about Avery?
I would not object that. Is that for a, I guess my question to you would be that, is that for a, an organization of visitation or anything like that? Is that is that app
No,
made
Miss
for
Kirby
by
is
an
still,
organization for visitation?
no, Miss Kirby is still requesting supervised visitation. Our Family Wizard is an app that you two would communicate in that would not violate the protective order, but that she would be able to use to say, such as, Avery received her booster shots today, just to be able to pass along information concerning Avery. And that would not violate the protective order. Would you be okay with you, the court ordering such an app?
That's fine.
Okay. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Kirby, any clarifying statements based on the questions you were just asked?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional witnesses this morning, Mr. Kirby?
No, ma'am.
All right. Okay, we will show the respondent rest. I have a number of matters and orders that I need to review before I can issue my order. So I will take the matter under advisement so that I can have an opportunity to review the evidence because that's part of my job.
Would the court like me to do a proposed order in Word to get most of it down?
That would be appreciated, Ms. Swenson. So, Mr. Kirby, frequently the court will order parties to submit proposed orders. I typically don't order that when someone is self-represented, but I will give you the same opportunity to do that. So what a proposed order, Mr. Kirby, is, based on the testimony and evidence presented today, what the court should order. So if I set a proposed order deadline, let's see, if we go about 30 days, Ms. Swenson, does that give you sufficient time?
Oh, I can do sooner, say the 23rd.
Okay. Mr. Kirby, how much time would you need to prepare a proposed order?
All the time you can give me, Your Honor. Okay, like I stated, I'm like I work all the time. I work quite a bit to pay, so.
Right. Sounds like the 23rd might be a little too ambitious for Mr. Kirby. Mr. Kirby, I don't like to go out too far. I don't think that's generally good for the families. I think families kind of need a resolution to know what's happening a little bit sooner, but I would be comfortable with about 30 days. Would that be sufficient time for you?
That would be fine, Your Honor. Can I make a small request to you?
Go ahead.
So it does seem like we both have no problem using that app. On that app, is there a chance that you could grant like that app sooner rather than later before that? And this way I might be able to speak to my daughter.
I'm going
Protection
to
order.
answer that different ways. If parties agree to start using their Family Wizard app, that is something that parties can do by agreement. However, we're not to modify the protective order today. And so insofar as any of that communication would violate the protective order, we would need to have a hearing for modification under the protective order. We weren't set for that today. There have been no motions filed for a hearing under the protective order. So we would need to address that separately. Okay, so I will leave that, I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, because again, we're not set on the PO today. All right, so what I'll do is I'll give parties until the end of business on June 11th. Well, let's go the 13th, that's a Friday. Friday the 13th of June for submission of proposed orders, and then I will issue my order very shortly afterward. Okay. All right, so we have our due date for that. And if there's nothing additional, that will conclude today's hearing.
And that's what we're waiting for. So we're waiting for them to submit their proposed orders, and then she will rule on the proposed orders. He doesn't have a chance. He has no chance. He needed a lawyer. I mean, I know 10 months is such a short amount of time to find and hire a lawyer. Maybe they should, give him a couple years, but they didn't. They gave him 10 months, and he did not come through. Always get a lawyer, guys. Always. Thank you so much for coming out today. I really, really appreciate it. It was nice going through normal clips again and not long trials. All right. I'll see you all in OJ. Bye, guys. Thank you.
Just right, even when my world turns gray. With a giggle, she lights the way. Kathy's life.